All right, so this is the wrap up episode, the official one, and okay, I've got to kind of record on that one or splice in something there because yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Because apparently there's 6 minutes and so many seconds video that I had planned out for the next video, will be the last episode, which was not only the intro, but it got cut. It got deleted. This is a video that I had created yesterday, or started it officially, and then I finished it today. Anyway, so let's get doing. So I'm gonna let them kind of finish up with their. Cause see, here's the thing. I'll be right back. So I'm gonna go ahead and let my guys take out as much as ore as I can get from these from around here with the main radio. It's a silly tactic, but what you can do is you can ultimately make sure that they don't get any ore, but you have to make sure that you're pretty much built up before you can do that. Like where I'm at officially, which is what stop them from doing anything. And I hate idle workers in this game. I mean, most of the time, I don't mind them being idle when there's nothing to do, or and I don't want them to get attacked. But if I see a bunch of ore and I'm trying to get it away from the enemy, if I get an opportunity to do it, I will do it. But I don't have to. It's a silly thing to do, but it's one of the best tactics to go for if you want to get enough ore, and you want to make sure that you're able to protect them very well. And if they get damaged, make sure that they're able to, like, say if they get like halfway through. Uh-oh, he's following my guy. Okay, there should not be anything there, but okay. Like anyway, so if they get damaged, what you want to go ahead and do is that's why you make a it's twofold. One of them you don't necessarily need unless you need to go back or get closer to the enemy. Just make one of these. That's the thing right there. That's what I don't need. That's the second one. But the first one is going to be so that if you need to repair them, you can. Just like your tanks, you would just take them in there. If you have the ability, I would make sure that you have at least a couple of them. You don't have to. If you're doing like I am, professionally, of course, with enough experience and stuff, especially when you've got enough backup, yeah. And the more ore, what do they call them things? What is this thing called again? Or no, that's not it. Ore silo. The more ore silos you have, the more it will increase the max limit. You don't want to get too many though, because not only does that take up space, but it limits your resources as well, and what you need to really be building. But you want to build enough to get through. And I'll tell you something else. When you do this, there we go. Like right now, I can call them back. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. Do that. So yeah, and it helps out to get as much as you can. I would definitely recommend getting the funds cheat at least to kind of get a little bit more, and you can turn it back off. Okay, that I hate the sensitivity of Google Assistant. At least with Siri, it wasn't so doggone sensitive. Or maybe it was. I don't know. I just hate the sensitivity of it. We just got to get interrupted. That's what I hate. So anyway, yeah. So you can take things back up and do that. Yep. And we're gonna go to finish them off right now. Well, look at that. Oh yeah, I meant to tell you. I also went ahead and uh, you know, I bothered to go ahead and at least build one SAM site just to get it out of the way. Yeah, off screen. Or rather, while I was paused it there on that last recording. Now, I'm going to do this real quick before this continues on, but I could be nuking them, but there's not much point. They don't have a whole lot of stuff that I have to worry about anyway, but they still had enough defenses to kind of wipe out some of my soldiers. I didn't have enough no ground soldiers. Since it takes too long to do it that way, you know, it takes long enough as it is making bin up tanks, so, to be fair. What are you doing? Stop being so sensitive, Bone. Oh, excuse me. They made 2 of those AA guns. Whoo! We did it. Didn't take much effort to do this. I'll tell you something. That's what you could do if you really care about getting even more ore, which doesn't really make much difference anyway. But still don't. You want to make sure you have enough room for defense. Otherwise, what if your tanks could get there? Doesn't matter how huge or small your army of tanks or soldiers are, if you cannot get there in time to protect that base, I mean, a little bitty thing with ores, whatever we call it, ore silos, I mean, it ain't worth it. And it's the only way to do anything. I mean, if unless, of course, I mean, like with maps like these where they have like bridges and stuff, but unless, of course, build it building by building by building, you'll be fine. But even then, you still have to have defenses anyway. In other words, you don't have to worry about building a shipyard. Mission complete. All right, we did it. And pretty much that is the last of this map. Wow, I don't think I've ever seen an advanced plant like that. I mean, it must be one of those super advanced plants. Anyway, took us about 3 hours and we got ranked sergeant. What can I say? I have a lot of fun playing on these maps more than I do on campaign. But, that's just me. And so what I'm just saying is, like, in other words, one of those mobile construction yards you can move around with, you have to use them for, like, places you can't get to. You don't need them unless, you can always just build them if you wanted to 100% the game. It is part of it. But you don't have to do it for every map either to make 100%. But especially because the campaigns don't even do that. Um, you know, but they're useful for, like, if you want to get on another island, whether there's a bridge or a way. If there's no bridge, you have to use a what do you call it? A transport vessel, which means you have to have a sea factory in order to build that. You don't need anything special for it except for the sea factory, which is crazy because any other things you have to build with that, it has to do something special. And in order to do that, and then that way you can also take a bunch of tanks and stuff over there, even engineers and whatnot. You can even take over bases. This game may not have a whole lot of building capabilities, but there is stuff that it's in this game. I believe it is. I'm just not sure how you're supposed to access it, especially special type buildings that I will be showing more off when I get a chance to. And anyway, pretty much, yeah. So that's the end of this little campaign or mission. Finally, took us like 3 or 4, 6 freaking episodes just to do it. Maybe, I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah. That's what it's like to have all the colors. I mean, it's not going to make much difference at all, no matter what side you be, or faction you be, whether it's Russia. I might even show off some bonus videos where, because there are a little bit of differences, but like they have a little bit more, but they're a little bit more limited as well in what they can build. But other than that, you won't see that in campaign mode. Don't ask me. That's just the way they designed the game. I didn't make this game, but I do like it. Nonetheless, I do have a lot of fun with it. Uh, the campaign mode, not so much, but it can be fun. It just depends on what you're trying to do and how far you're trying to get in it. Because the higher it is, well, I mean, in difficulty makes it harder. The harder it is, and what makes it even more harder is when you don't know the game as well as I do. In the very first mission, you absolutely have to pass. And you actually don't have to do them in order, but you do have to get them completed. So, and you don't have to do all the missions, but enough of it to make it to the next area. I don't know about the next map. It almost seems like you actually have to, but, whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, like I said, I mean, if you want to make more where you have just nothing but ores and stuff, just to make up the fact so that you can get even more, which would come in handy. It'd be beneficial for you if you want to do it that way. But it doesn't really matter. What matters ultimately, if you have enough. See, I had far more than enough. What helps you out the most when it comes to difficulty surviving ratio is how I did it. You know, you don't actually have to do it that way, but it is advisable if you want to play this game. If you want to have any amount of fun, yes, you have to cheat. Because you're going to be cheating anyway, whether you like it or not. However, because what makes mine more beneficiary, it makes it more funner, is so you don't have to waste up resources limiting yourself, because it will limit you. It will in normal mode without the cheats. Once you do that, it unlocks the limit on how many buildings you can make. But even so, you don't want to make it where you have no room to put anything and no way to get your trucks and stuff out and tanks and out when they need to, because otherwise you're going to be selling. And if you do that, if the enemy decides to come after you before you have a chance to take them down, you're screwed. So you always want to leave a little bit of gap open somewhere. I mean, and it also depends on where you're at. Like some maps in this game, you need to really block yourself off. You're going to have to do it where you sell off things, but not all maps are like that. There is one map I wish they hadn't really taken away the ability to build. I remember when I could actually build something, but I guess I couldn't do much. But that would have been fine to protect my base with. I'll show you what I mean by it, because there's like build and then there's build. But anyway, look at all that gold. I could have like bunches and bunches of gold. I've had even higher than that, even when I wasn't cheating, believe it or not. But, however, and I say but because when you think about how much you can do and how much limit space you have, especially if you want to make it feasible where you take over the other enemy base in order to get the other stuff that you would possibly need if you want to do it that way. You can do it either way you want. You can even just go wipe them out, but always, you have to survive before you can try to take them out. There is literally no point to try and go after them before you've had a chance to build up enough forces. And while you're trying to protect your base, you have to focus on that. Now, speaking of that, I will go more about that in the campaign mode, because that's going to make it a little bit more difficult, but challenging, and to the point that it's not really all that challenging, but I'll show you what I mean when we get there. At this point in time, though, these maps, they can be difficult, but they can also be easier. I mean, way easier. But there's no such thing as a camp that's like so easy you can just be so lax and just be like, yeah, okay, I just kind of, all right. And all of a sudden you wake up, what the hell happened? My base was wiped out, because there's no such thing as an easy deal. What makes it easier is once you pretty much got to your point where you can finally relax, you don't have to worry for a while. You don't have to have your base as big as that, but you have to be well protected. When I mean well protected, whether it's in campaign mode or not, even campaign mode is more stressful than this, believe me. But on here, once you're well protected like that, you can go, and you don't have to worry about nothing. You can wake up and your base will still be there. You might have to, take a look at and make sure nothing's having to be repaired, but other than that, you'll still be fine. And once everything's done, you can just go over there and wipe out the enemy base. Campaign mode, you gotta do it. Oh my god. Well, I'm just not looking forward to it, but I am looking forward to beating it someday. Yeah. You know what's odd as well is that these are hard. I'll give you that before I get into this. That's what I gotta explain to you. These are gonna be hard as well as the campaign mode, which is it's a much more harder difficulty. But what's even more harder than that, and I mean extremely hard, doing this on the Soviet mission or the Russian side. Believe me, because I played those missions, and they are. And I'm not saying this like it's going to make it any easier to do. It's not going to do that. There's no way. No. However, there are a little bit of differences that you can do for this versus that over there in campaign mode, and I will show that off when that time comes. But I'm just trying to explain some things while it's on my mind, or as it comes to my head. But pretty much that is map. I'm not sure whatever that was, but and that's all the colors. I will show off more maps. I'm gonna use the maps as a more of a forego of a update or meantime, maybe I don't know. But as far as campaign mode, because those things take too long. You think it's long when I'm trying to do this on a regular map because I'm relaxing? It's gonna take even longer because I gotta take the time and do so much preparing. It's not even funny. I'm gonna try to do what I can to split off the videos, but it's just gonna make it a lot longer in the series. And frankly, I don't mind either way, but I don't know if it's gonna be any more enjoyable regardless of whether I talk or not. And because there ain't a whole lot I can do. And believe me, the campaign mode is a whole different forte. I have to teach you a whole lot more, and that's like called advanced tutorialism. Like, even though I've already teach you the basics, the normal basics that can be also applied in there, but there's more to it than that. And I'll tell you, it's not gonna be easy going forward for anyone playing this game. Even if you decide to play the game alongside of me, you will still be stuck as I am. And I already know what to do, but the one mission that I've been stuck on for ages, because I've already beaten this. It's not hard to do. It's not hard to beat it so much as it's not going to be easy to the point that I'm going to be able to do it in one shot. It's going to be like, okay, it's going to take so many videos, and then per deal. And then another area, which is one mission I have been struggling with forever in a day. I can have difficulties sometimes anyway with some of the missions over there, but I know how to pretty much beat them too. They're pretty extremely hard, but not as bad as Russia. The Russian missions, I mean, they're extreme, but don't make it no easier. Anyway, yeah. Oh, man, the time it took us to do this 3 hours and 20 minutes and 42 seconds. The gold 541 281. I'm not sure what that is, but I don't really care. So, but a bit of a deal I should tell you about right now is that I hope you all are praying for me because I'm not the type of person that would ask for money, and I never will. And it's not the issue of money. Well, maybe it is, but in order to help me further do what I need to do. But it's more of that I'm in a situation that if I need to go pay bills, a lot of times I can't do it. And in the way that I should be able to do it. A lot of things can be done over phone, online, but not everything. Not everything. Which includes food. I gotta go out and go get food. I gotta get this. I gotta get that. And especially for my animal. And I'm not saying that to play sympathy card or anything like that. I don't want any sympathy. I just need prayers. Okay. I don't want. Well, not sympathy, but what's the word I'm looking for? You know, like I don't want to be looked at like I'm the worst person in the world that has to need all this. No, but because I want to make it clear that I also care about other people. But there's another person that I've been looking out for too, and you know, I don't know. Most of the time, I know better than what's going on, but whatever. It's just one thing, opinion one from thing to another. And I really hate to do it like that, but that's the way things are. And I never hardly ever ask for prayers for myself. I always, if I can, I will always put more towards others. If that makes any sense. Prayers and prayers upon prayers for everybody. Yeah. Anyway, I will see you all in the next episode. Until then, later.